So I thought then that this particular movie was good. I liked it. It was a solid movie, although I don't think it was as good as the first two American Pie movies, and I don't necessarily think this reunion was needed, although it was nice to see the cast back in a movie together and to see how they all would react being older and moving on from their college experiences and stuff like that. It was interesting to see how the characters were after so long and after growing up. Some of them had kids, some of them had stopped going out, let's say with Heather and Oz. Jim and Michelle had kids, and just things like that, and seeing how Stifler reacts in a normal job. And those little things were great to see them moving on and seeing how they've moved on. That was interesting. Although I don't like what they did with certain characters like Oz and Heather, as they just sort of ripped up the floor with their relationships, what they'd stopped after American Pie 2. And I get it, couples can move on after college and still, like, not be in touch with each other, but, like, just move their separate ways in a respectful manner. And then when they meet each other, wow, it's you again. But to me, I don't think they should have been split up in the first place, as it didn't really make much sense just to tear them away, put them back together again after so long. I get it. This sort of relationship is sort of realistic, but in my opinion, and I know you wanted to try to create different kind of character development and different kind of character relationships, although I do believe this one probably should have been left alone because there was no real reason that they were sort of taken away from each other, because they showed that the relationship could work in American Pie 2 and that their relationship, nothing was going to get in the way. So, and they didn't really go into detail how they moved away from each other. I think it was mainly just because of his job, and then it was sort of they went the separate ways. But I think if she'd loved him that much, or the opposite way around, they would have done something together, but you never know. But I didn't really like that character development, in my opinion. But I do think something they did get right was Jim and Michelle's relationship. That sort of worked in this film, as it showed that their relationship was getting stale after having a kid and after they've been married for a few years. They're just not finding time for each other. So they're pleasing themselves, put it that way, instead of doing it together and doing things together. They're not finding time to do that anymore, and this movie just goes through their relationship in a nutshell of becoming stale until at the end of the film, obviously, where a few events happen with Mia. I think having those two at the end of the film, having their moment to get back together and then showing their relationship was stale, went through a tough patch, but now they're back to being how they used to be, and finding their magic that got them together in the first place, in which was great. I thought, as a whole, bringing back some of the characters which I haven't seen in a few sequels, likes of Vicky, likes of Heather that we've previously mentioned, and even Oz to an extent, and even some of the smaller characters like Sherman. I think those sorts of characters made the experience at college, all these sort of weirdos, but bringing those back in was great, seeing how they fitted in. I think it was great to see Seann William Scott back as Steven Stifler again, creating new iconic moments within the American Pie franchise, as he embodies what American Pie is all about. Let's be honest, it would be nothing, the franchise, without Steven Stifler and him and his energetic personality, being a total douchebag, being a complete and utter prick. And without him, American Pie does not exist up until this point. So I think it was that character on show, yet again showing why he's basically been carrying the franchise on his back for a while. I think his moment of shitting in the cooler, pretty damn funny. I think him destroying those speedboats, pretty good. I think him just being him was just brilliant. And seeing him back in there, yeah, love it. And to me, the only reason why you'd want another American Pie reunion is just to see Steven Stifler doing some daft shit again, or maybe Jim doing some daft shit as well. On Steven Stifler, I really liked how he managed to get his revenge back on Finch after so long as well. This is probably one of the best parts of the film, of Stifler end up fucking Finch's mum, because he gets revenge for the amount of times Finch fucked his, and I think this was just sort of like a turning of the tables and getting his revenge finally on this particular movie. And I think that's where they should leave this movie and leave this franchise alone now, because we've seen the best part and where the movie ends of Finch getting fucked over, like Finch fucked over Steven Stifler several times by fucking his mum. So we get to see the opposite sides of the table, and to me, I just think that worked incredibly well. So to summarise American Pie The Reunion then, I do believe it was a solid movie, although I don't think it was needed. It did a good job, hence why I rate this movie a 7 out of 10 and a world-class film. So let me know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are. Is it good, is it bad, is it terrible, is it amazing? Let me know down in the comments down below, please. Also, we have noticed not enough people have been subscribing to the channel, so hit that subscribe button, please. Hit that notification bell, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Laters.